Hi everyone. Today we are going to be looking at some hidden tools that Unreal has that have been around since I believe the beginning when it was first released. But what it's done is it's increased my workflow when it comes to kit bashing and creating elements for my world. So with that being said, we're going to be looking at three things that have completely increased my efficiency when it comes to building a world. What's going on screen right now is a couple of the things that I've been able to create very quickly, and I've been able to place it around in my world to create little vistas. Like right now, it's still in its beginning stages where I've just done sort of a first pass over the meshes. But you'll be able to see exactly how I've been able to create them. So just give me a sec. I'm going to jump into Unreal and let's get started. Okay, we are in Unreal. So what I have open right now is a house building level. It's basically a neutrally lit scene I use for look dev, and where it just contains a couple calibration tools as well as a scale reference for a 6 foot person. But what we're going to want to do for the first tool is we're going to want to go ahead and go into our edit plugins, and we're going to look for the actor palette, which should by default be the second one in our little chain here. So once it's activated and you restart, we're ready to go. And how we're going to be able to find this tool is once it's active, we should be able to find it under tools here and under this very first section for tools at the very top. And you can see it created this thing for actor palette, and I'm just going to click number 1. Now, you might be seeing something interesting here is that it's asking us to choose a level or to open a level. Now check this out. I'm going to open up a level I specifically made for assets, right? So I'm going to open up the medieval farm village, which is a asset zoo that I created that holds every single asset that I use in order to kit bash my farmhouses. So you can already see how useful this is that you're going to be able to have sort of reference characters in here for scale, as well as just seeing all your assets without having to drag them out in order to sort of see them in context. Now, this is also very handy because even though this one is made by me, you can also load one that is, an overview map in one of the asset packs. But why is this so cool? Well, check this out. So I'm going to select a mesh right here, and I'm just going to left click, and I'm going to drag it in. As simple as that, we're able to take something from this zoo level and bring it into our main level for building. And I'll do that again, just a simple left click, and we're dragging it in. Right? Obviously, though, is like we're getting a little lighting error just because I have lights in here. But you can see that now I can just simply drag it into the level. And let me actually zero this out on my podiums here just so I can get them to line up properly. I think that's all right. And from here, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to build. Right? So you can see I got 1, 2 meshes, and I'm just going to build a house this way. Right? And with this little setting is it makes it, obviously, as you can probably tell, a lot easier when it comes to creating a house. So I'm just going to add my 4 walls, and I'll just speed up this section just so that it's a little bit easier for you guys to see and don't have to sit through me adding meshes. Okay, so this is the ending of our little house that we created just through literally kit bashing it from this little actor palette here. Now you might be wondering, is it all right? So you did all that. So what's the point? It's like it exists in this level. What can we do with it? We could, like we could do it the whole thing where we create a new level and we put it in there and then we can only use it once. Well, that isn't the best way of working. I'm just going to close this down and let's begin talking about the next step. So the thing is that there's a new way of working using packed level actors. And what these are is it essentially allows us to make instances of a level. So in other words, I can take a house that I made and I can create a blueprint out of it that is essentially a level. So you can see I did it with this one. I did it with this one. I did it with, the dock here. And I've done it with the houses, right? All of this stuff are levels that I can not only edit, but that I can place repeatedly. So, how can I make one? Well, it's actually pretty easy. So, knowing what we have here, right? We're going to just go ahead and we are going to just select everything that I know is going to be in the level here, right? Everything we place, and I'm just going to right click. And now, after right clicking, there's this level option under here. Now there's an option for create level instances, which just sort of creates a level in place with all these items. Whereas the create packed level actor creates a blueprint of this, right? So I'm going to create a packed level actor. And it's going to ask me where I want to set the pivot. In this case, it's going to be the minimum center, right, on the Z. So it's going to move it to the center. We also have a couple options where it's just the absolute center of everything, or just of the actor, or the world origin, right? I built this on the world origin, basically, sort of like 50 centimeters up. But I'm just going to choose centerman for now, and I'm going to show you guys how to edit this later. But I'm going to do that, and I'm going to hit OK. And it's going to ask me to save a map, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this PLA demo hut 3 because I already made one. And I'm going to, now it's asking me to save a blueprint. And I'm just going to call this one level instance. I probably have them backwards, but you know what? It's fine. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place it into this little list of other ones that I have created, as you see. So I'm going to do that. And now you can see it's all collapsed now into this one actor, right? And it's packed. So what exactly does that mean? Well, obviously it's all put into one, right? And you can see here that I'm just going to open up the map separately. I'm going to look for demo hut 3. I'm going to open it up. I'm just going to go into unlit mode so you can see sort of what's going on. So you can see that it is now like just the house by itself. Typically how it would be if we just made a level or put it into a level. But let's look at the really cool thing here. So I'm going back to the house building, and I'm going to navigate to where I had the blueprint for this thing. So demo house 3 was it, right? Now check this out. So obviously we need to fix the pivot, but you can see that we can actually place this house several times over. And it's the same house obviously, but it allows us to, like, say if we just made background buildings, look how fast we just made them and how we don't even have to merge them together. And say I wanted to make a change to one of these, such as with the pivot, which we'll do in a second, is that all we have to do is we can actually go into each and every single one of these quite easily, right? So you see how I have it selected. If you look underneath the details panel, there is this edit option, right? And we're just going to click on this, and what it will do is it will gray out everything that is not within its current context, meaning only the things that are inside the packed level actor are going to be more or less colored and, more visible and vibrant, as you can see here. And you can see that we have access now to every single mesh in here. Now, there is a bit of a caveat to this, is that say I want this house to have two chimneys, right? And if I just press escape twice to save it, now every single house has a chimney. Now, why is that? Well, it's because we updated the actual map that these are contained in. So, in other words, that if you want to make changes to the house, it will propagate to all of them. But say if you wanted to have one specific, a unique one, it kind of makes it difficult, right? You'd kind of have to build a house from scratch again. Or you can do it the other way, which is where you just right click on it, go down the level, and you can break it. And this, if I just hit yes, you can see it broke it, right? All those pieces are now out in our main map, but now I can actually go ahead and freely make as many changes as I want to this thing, right? And what will happen is that because these are levels, these are assets again, all I have to do is select them again. Let me just deselect this guy, and then just do the whole process again of right-clicking and creating a pack level instance. In this case, I'm just going to create a level instance because I'm actually just going to delete this right afterwards. So I'm just going to call it to delete, bad spelling. And yeah, so it created a level right in its place. So that is sort of a workaround for it. And you can see here we have two chimneys, whereas the other ones don't. But let's go ahead and see why it would be useful kind of doing it the other way, where we actually edit the level itself. So let's look at this pivot, which is way off, right? It's at the min Z. So all I have to do, because this one's actually really easy, is that this one's at this point, like I don't want to sort of, reset it because now it's over here. All I actually want to do, because this is the center, I know it's 50 centimeters up because of how it is on the cylinder where I build it. So I'm just going to put 50. And what should happen when I hit escape, I'm not going to hit apply because if I did that, it would just kind of reset it to the other option. But you can see that it is now at 50. It's a little bit off, but that's because we have it up off the ground a bit. We're probably going to have to edit this just a little bit more. Let's bring it up here. So like say 25. I don't know why, but it's there. And now it's on the ground. But say, this is first pass, and now we're ready for a second pass. Well, here's also the cool thing. You can actually have multiple pack level actors in one. So it's just be warned, it's actually going to edit those things as well if you say open it up and by itself, sort of like what we just did. So what I'm going to do, let me just reset this pivot again. I was a little bit off. Let's go and set that to 0. There we go. And what we can do is I'm actually going to go in and I'm going to grab one of these platforms that I made. I'm going to take it and I'm just going to drag it in. It's pretty big, right? But that's not the point. We're just going to shove it in here so that we can make a little bit of a, a little patio. right? Maybe we can even have a little thing in the background. Maybe not this one. Let's grab this, and like almost like a scaffolding type of thing, where, you know, it will not only sort of be here, maybe off the back. You know, it'd be kind of cool if for whatever reason, you know, like things were being stacked like this on top of it, right? Well, check this out. So if this was our next step in making this, you know, more polished, then all we have to do is hit yep, and now you can see it's on every single one of these, right? That's pretty cool, right? But again, the issue here is that, say I edit this man bridge that we just did, and let me just do that. I'm just going to, you know, make this, duplicate it and make it bigger. Now I'm just going to hit yes. But you can see that it's actually just going to do it to this one as opposed to over here. Now, one thing that could be an issue is that it's not updating. Maybe it's broken, maybe it's just not working, but you can see that what actually happens is that if I go in, you can see that it's there, right, as is, right, when I open up its context. But the thing is that the changes won't propagate unless I actually open it up and make a change inside of these packed actors, right? So that's why that ended up changing. But you can see that this is actually a really cool way of working, because even if I do edit this, say I've finished editing this building, right, and it's good as is, and I'm never going to open it again, then it's fine. I just, you know, like, you know, you never really want to take that for granted and make a potential slip up, right? So just be careful of that. But let's move on to the third one, which is really cool. So the third tool, which we're actually going to use in tandem with this, is actually going to be this thing called the placement tool. Now, this is still sort of like one I'm still kind of figuring out, so I'm only going to go over the surface of it just a bit, but you'll be able to see the application of it. So it's another plugin that you're going to need to find, and it's called the placement asset placement editor mode, right? And you can see right here is that it enables quick placement of assets in a world as full actors or various types of lightweight objects, right? And this is really cool because when we activate it, we're going to be able to take these houses and we're actually going to be able to basically scatter them, because the cool thing about the actor placement is it's actor, right? It's not just static meshes, it's not just foliage, it's any type of actor. It could be sound cues, it could be skeletal meshes, it could be animations, it could be all those type of things. We can actually place them through the tool. But where is it found? Well, it's actually a mode, right? So if we go to the mode and we go into placement, now it's going to give us sort of something similar to our you know, our landscape mode, but in this case we're going to have our single options here where we can actually just select a, like say in this case, one of our level actors, and you can see that it's being added to the palette, and we can select multiple ones too, right? And so say we could use this very easily with collections, but in this case what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to select our demo house that we just created right here, and you can see it's in our palette. And what I'm going to do is I'm just for this one I'm going to hit single, right? And let's look at the options here. So you can see that we have our things aligned to normal, as well as like random rotations along the, you know, the Z, the X, and the Y, as well as, you know, scaling, pretty standard. And as well as like options for a relative offset where we can make it go into the ground, or even like world location offsets. So you can also choose, obviously, like where you'll be placing things. In this case, I'm placing it on a static mesh, right? And you can see, because I have single mode on, that it's already showing me where the house is. And say if I've added more to this, let me just add a couple more, right? I have to actually select the tool. It's a little weird. It's in this case, what it's going to do is it's going to cycle through everything, right, until you know, it will go with that. So in this case, you kind of have to have one asset selected, right, in order for it to kind of do its thing properly, right? And you can see here that I have the random size on, so it's giving us random sizes. But we can actually go ahead and, you know, we can actually turn off, you know, the mirror asset browser, and we can actually go ahead and we can actually drag things into here. And through this, you know, it will, or it should, at times it's a little buggy, but it will sort of cycle through what's in our palette here. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to make sure I have the one selected. And yeah, you can see here I can just place them side by side if I wanted to, right? Obviously scale's wrong, so let's go ahead and let's just make sure that this is 1 to 1. And it also has some random, you know, rotation on it, but you can see that I can place these houses pretty fast. But the main one is going to be the paint tool. Now, this one is a little intense. Like, I just like place, let's see here, 2 assets in the same zone, so really be careful. I found that you kind of have to have like a really low value in order for it to kind of place properly. So in this case, I have 0.01, and even then that's a little intense. So let's go 0.01. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to paint these houses, right? So imagine this was like a hill, right? And let me just, yeah, like, so I have to actually select these in the world, because that's how this tool particularly works with actors, at least blueprint actors, where, because it's essentially a level. But you can see that I was able to, you know, add a bunch. But now let's say this is a, maybe some grass or something, like a plant. Let's actually see here. Let's just filter and look at a couple. Oh, some broken textures there. I'll have to fix those. But let's go ahead and let's say grab this white everlasting here. Now, what I'm going to do is I can totally paint, you know, with this tool, right? But you may have noticed that if you go out of the browser, it's going to show up as none instance 66. It's not even going to show up in our content browser, or sorry, our outliner. And that's because in order to actually get rid of them, you need the, you know, actually be in the placement tool, and you need to actually have you know, the actor in here. Like, say if I let's actually test that, just so I'm not saying the wrong thing. So let's actually highlight one that's not there, and yeah, like what's happening is that it will only select what you currently have selected in the asset the content browser, but it allows you to pretty much quickly place meshes as you see, right? So you no longer have to really use the you know, the foliage tool if you didn't want to, right? And like, I'm not saying you should definitely use it, but it just at least makes it really quick in order to be able to place this type of stuff. And of course, I believe, let's see here. Oh yeah, you can place decals too, which is pretty cool, right? So if you wanted to place, like, maybe you have maybe not any leaks, but maybe you have some blood splatters or something. Or say, in this case, I have ash, right? So maybe I want to put ash on the ground. I could totally do that, right? And because it's surface aligned, right, it allows me to quickly place them along, the surface. Pretty cool, right? So, that's one thing. Let me see if I actually have skeletal meshes. I do, which is great. So let's actually go into here, and we can actually add, say, a mannequin to the scene, right? And you can see that it just added a crap ton of mannequins. And you can see it also added it to the level. So it allows us to like place quite a bit right involved. So you can see how easy that this is, for placing things. But I am going to have to, go and find my my plant that I had here, which was the is it everlasting? Yeah, one of these. And I'm just going to just delete these because I prefer not having them this way, right? It requires a lot of management and know which asset you put down. So just be careful of that. But let's go ahead and let's see if we can actually make a little something out of a couple of these assets really quick. So we using this tool, or the tools that we just went over, let's go ahead and let's add the house, right? So we have a house now, and I'm also just going to add in a little bit of a platform that it's on, right? Maybe it's like a little bit in the ground, maybe it's not, right? So we have the house, and it's on a little bit of a platform, and then this is also something that I made with the tools that we just went over, where I used a bunch of planks to make it. And I'm just going to add a couple rods that I put together, right? And maybe on the side here, right, like that. And we can also, maybe we can add a couple sticks or whatever and behind it for whatever reason, right? Just like that. And let's go ahead and actually use the place actors tool, the placement tool, to add a couple of these fishing sticks a little randomly around this area. So let's just do that. Let's see how this works. Let's actually go 0.1, right? So we got a couple sticks around here. Looks kind of cool. Right, just like that. And there is I'm seeing a little bit of a thing going right over there, but that's no problem. But so we added some sticks, and let's also add in some of those flowers that we were looking at. And let's go ahead. Let's add those common everlastings into the cracks. Just for the sake of it, just while we're here, we'll just add a couple of these right here, a couple right here, right? And yeah, let's also just do a little bit of a paint on it too. Just make this kind of small. Yeah, it's not going to be small. But yeah, you can see, just like with that, we were able to place a couple things. And that's actually how I've been building it. But that kind of covers everything. And I hope it helped. And it's going to be able to help you guys in the future with your own worlds and just being able to make more high quality assets. But yeah, it's been very fun making this tutorial. I hope you guys liked it, and please subscribe if you enjoyed it. I am hoping to upload more frequently. I got sick a bit, so that's why I kind of fell off. But Yeah, that's it. I hope you liked it and have a good night. Take care.